Hi, welcome in everybody. Happy Monday.
Game, hold
Happy
on.
Hi,
Monday again. Hi, Dark.
Sushi.
Ooh.
Hi, Jimber. Hi, Green Eagle. We have Fat. Oh, I do Fat Beef 85. Hi, Flawless. Thank you for being here, everybody. Hi, we have a blurb. Oh, I thought I turned. Oh, blurps are back on. Oh, it was just on that screen. Okay. Anyway, so today we're hanging out with Green Eagle and his Twitch partner. I think a lot of you guys already know Green Eagle, but so he's someone that I've always thought, it'd be really good to have here because one of the things I really like, he seems really comfortable, being himself, and he has a really good balance that between being open with his community and still keeping his life private. And I think it's something that a lot of streamers, including me, are still kind of learning how to do. And so today we're going to be talking about streaming, burnout, and boundaries. And also, the one thing I really like about Green Eagle is, he does all the stickers for bits and subs, and at the end of his stream, he saves them in a keepsake in his filing cabinet, and he has like several of those saved up as a little keepsake. So that's just a kind of like a reminder that streaming is not just about numbers or getting bigger. It's about memories, just creating new memories and laughs and good moments that you share with your community is more than just chasing the dream and all that stuff. So, where is it? Oh my gosh, here we go. There we go, Green Eagle. Thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everybody, welcome in Green Eagle on Mental Health Monday. It's also
Yeah,
about
right.
family. It's about family, exactly. Infinite Cokes. Yes. Dark Type says, welcome in Green Eagle. Yes. Awesome. So I wanted to start off asking you a question, and it's what is like one habit or a routine that has helped you stay mentally healthy while streaming for the amount of time you have been?
Yeah, so I guess like for a habit, it's definitely like having like a schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people out there, they just have the mindset of like they always have to like stream, always have to like stream, and I feel like that's a good way to like burn out really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So back at like at my apartment, I would like as soon as I got done streaming, I would just like go outside. So I would just like walk like Rigel, and just like being outside, I just feel like is a really good way to get your mind to be clear and stuff. Um, Sorry, I still have like a cold, so I might have to like mute myself a few times to
That's
like
totally fine.
talk.
Yeah. Drink
But
some water.
yeah, just honestly, like as soon as I would get done streaming, just like going outside is just like really nice. So I guess that'd be like one of my habits too, is just being able to get outside and getting like the sunlight on you. Feeling like
Mm-hmm.
the I feel like a lot of times we as streamers we just hide ourselves in a room
Mm-hmm.
and other like network support or stream, and we kind of forget to like go outside and like touch grass. I know like we make jokes and stuff to like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like gotta like touch grass and stuff, but I really think
Yes.
it's really important, and it really gets like your mindset to be a lot more healthier and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Yeah, the outdoors is really important to actually be outside and breathing fresh air and get some sunlight. Sunlight's super important in mental health and overall health, really, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, when I watch your streams, I feel like you're really good at like just being yourself and being natural and authentic to who you actually are, without like sharing every part of your personal life. How did you find that balance? Um, you know.
Yeah, so I do like to, of course, like share like some personal stuff, like obviously like what I'm currently doing, like if I'm working like part time, which now I like stream full time, but in the
Mm-hmm.
past I talk about like my part time jobs that I was at, like any like if the relationship was like serious, I might bring that up. But anything that was like super like personal that I just didn't feel comfortable bringing up, I think sometimes we have to realize as streamers that especially since I do it like full time, I do try to be as professional as possible. So I'm not gonna like share every single thing like about
Mm-hmm.
me. And I think that's like important. So you don't have to like feel like as a streamer that you have to like tell your community about every single thing about you. And if you're not comfortable bringing something up and someone does bring something up, you shouldn't be like afraid to like say like no to them,
Mm-hmm.
or, like set boundaries and stuff. So
Yes, that's That's the thing that I sometimes I overshare a little bit. And one of the issues with that is sometimes when you overshare some of your vulnerability, sometimes people can take advantage of it because they know now some of your vulnerable things, you know? So
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
but this is a really good advice for sure. 100%. So have you ever had a time where life outside Twitch was really, really hard, but you still had to hit that go live button? How did you handle that and that balance of hitting the live button versus taking that break that you need, you know, because life is hard RL kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of that right now. I just recently moved back with like my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, like he's like my ex now, but my partner and I had broke up in January, and um, I got like really attached to like his dog and stuff. So the past like 17 months, 17 or 19 months around there, I had like a routine where as soon as I got done streaming, like I take out like Rigel and I would spend a lot of time with him. And of course, my ex's name is like Nick. He was super busy with like work and stuff, so actually his dog got a lot more attached to me. So I pretty much like said he was like my dog. And so when I had to like leave and stuff, that was like really hard. But the way that I look at it is I can, just stay like in my bed and just watch a bunch of Netflix and, be sad and stuff, or I can try to like move on and take my mind off it. And I think that when life is getting hard, still take the time to like grieve, take the time to, take like a day or two off for yourself. Like, I'm not saying don't take any time off and be
Mm-hmm.
like a bot or like a robot and pretend that you don't have like feelings and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that, but still take a few days off, but don't like overdo it. Because I feel like when people put themselves in like that hole, it's hard to like come out of it. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's good to still like take a few days, but
To me, that
uh,
was like, so because that's when I invited you to be here. It was just as you were about to move, and that's why we chose like a few weeks ahead to do this. But I couldn't believe because that's a big transition that you're going through, you know. And I like he's still Green Eagle, he's still in his streams, being himself, you know.
yeah,
No, I couldn't tell that you're going through something like that at all, and it's hard, but I'm so I take my head off for you. I'm so proud of you that you carry himself with such confidence and just like this is it, you know. It's very positive. I love that. I love that about you. So thank you thank you for being like that, you know. It's
yeah, no.
inspiring to a lot of people, I think.
There's
Yeah.
times where I was with someone that one of the longest relationships I had was I was with someone for like 4 years, and the next day like they woke me up and they're like, oh yeah, like I'm leaving you and stuff, and like we're done. And I took like a week or two, and then I went back and I started to like stream. But this is like when I was still like very very like new. So if I was streaming longer, I would have kept on going. But because I was still very like into Twitch, I thought that was a good time to take like a few months off. So I kind of like took a lot of time off during that time. But
Mhm.
if that happened like now, I would have maybe taken like a week off and then go back like to it again.
Mhm. Hmm.
I think it's important to still take like some time though, and then kind of get
Yes.
yourself together and then get back to it.
100%.
But
Well, how long have you been streaming now?
since 2021,
Oh wow, okay. That's so
yeah.
okay. Oh, wow.
So if
So
you have 2 years,
yes, it has been. Yes. Hi Joss, welcome in. So you know, when we become streamers and we create a community, right? Have you ever felt like you had to be okay for your community, even if you weren't really? Since we're in this topic, you know.
yeah, I mean, I'll be always honest with your community. So if you are going through something and you're like showing it, like your community is obviously gonna see it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of you can't just like hide it. So I think it's important to like be honest. So that's why I even like I would tell people I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna be moving back with my parents. This is gonna be like the date that I move. My background's gonna be different. I might be a little bit sad with like Rigel and stuff. So that way, if people do see that you're a little bit like off your A game or you seem a little bit sad and you're not as happy as you are, they like know. Whereas if you don't like say anything, they might think that maybe you're like upset at them or something. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just important to be like honest with your community about like everything. Like
Mm-hmm. For sure. You
we
you
talked about that like before about like when you're sharing about personal stuff, like obviously the stuff that is like too personal not to share, but some of the stuff that like impacts like your streaming and stuff, I think is important to let
Oh,
your
for
community
sure.
know.
Yes. 100%, I agree. Yeah, especially when it's like a big thing like this. Did you notice any difference from when you moved within the community and the dynamic of the community as you streamed? Or...
Um, sorry, can you say that one more time?
So after you did the big move and the transition that you just went through, like did you feel like there was any difference within the community? Like, you know?
Oh yeah, no, it was like honestly, I felt like it was like the same streaming out there. Like everyone was super supportive of like my
Good.
move and stuff, and yeah, no, it was really good.
Oh, that's great. That's really awesome, you know. And since you started streaming, have you felt like streaming changed you as a person? And if it has, like, do you think it's been mostly a good change, or did you find like a way back into yourself a little, or you've been streaming for a while now, right? So.
Yeah, I honestly think that it's definitely been positive. I feel like with streaming, I've always considered myself like an introvert. I know people that are watching right now might think like I'm not an introvert, but I actually, even like this, I can still be like a bit like uncomfortable. Uh,
Hmm.
I would say like over time with streaming, I've gotten not as like nervous with streaming, but like when like my first few streams, I was like terrified. Like if you would have met me back when my first few streams, I was so scared. I'd always be like awkwardly like staring at the camera. Now I just like pretend it's like it's not there. But I would say like it's definitely helped like my like talking skills. Like I feel like when I'm out like in public and stuff, it's easier for me to like have conversations with people. Just like when you're streaming and you have someone that's like a first time chatter and you don't know anything about them and they just come in and you have to like welcome them and be polite to them and stuff and ask them questions. Sometimes it can be hard because some people just come in and they'll be like hi and then you ask them like a question and they don't really like answer it and they just kind of like
Yeah.
they want you like to still talk to them, but you're like it's like hard because you're trying to like have conversations with them. So I feel like sometimes like even out in public and stuff when you're like out with your friends, and maybe your friend brings someone that you may not know, instead of like awkwardly like waiting for them to ask me a question, I would usually like start the question first because I kind of got that like from streaming. So I just feel like it just made like my talking skills better and people skills better.
Oh, 100%. Like Dark is saying, I always struggle with being nervous on stream. I have at the beginning a lot. I feel like, well, sometimes when I have a mental health Monday, sometimes depending on the talk, I feel a little bit nervous too before I start. But
Yeah,
I find that just be talking from when I first started streaming up to I've been streaming for a year, just a little over a year now, and I feel like it did help with my conversation skills and just like just talking, just being able to speak, but publicly and stuff. I find that in that aspect, it changed me in a positive way. You know, yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And like so I wanted to talk a little bit about burnout because burnout is something that a lot of streamers deal with, including myself, because you have to find that balance. Have you
Right.
ever gone through it and what did it look like for you?
Yeah, so when I first started streaming, I was everyone's super excited when they first start streaming. I mean, I'm still like excited when I was streaming, but I feel like when you first start, you overdo it. So I streamed. I had like this mindset where I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream like Monday through Friday and have like my weekends off, and I'm gonna stream like 8 hours, and I'm gonna have like my schedule and stuff. Everything's gonna be good. And I would say within like 2 or 3 weeks, I got like burnt out really fast because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that when you're streaming, it's not just like playing a video game. You're talking nonstop. So like all 8 hours, I was just like talking. So then the next day you're like tired, and then the next day it's like getting more tiring. So I did get like burnt out. Like I know people now like they stream like 5 days, 8 hours, and they're fine. But I think when you like first start, it's best to kind of take it a little bit easier. So what I did was I learned that that was not good because I like had like got burnt out and stuff. And I kind of changed my schedule to like the 3 days a week, and I would do like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I recently added like Thursday, so now I do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I think it's always best if you feel like you are someone that's gonna might have like a burnout is don't be afraid to start with like less days and you can always like add more days and likewise with like your hours like you can always start with like a few hours and then add more hours if you think like at the end of your stream like oh like I'm not tired and like I'm good and you could always add like another hour or two and kind of always build
Mm-hmm.
up. It's better to build up than to tell your community that oh like I actually can't do Friday because then people assume that you're going to be streaming on Friday and if you're like getting burnt out and you want to remove Friday then people not that they'll be like upset but they'll be it's people like having like a schedule, so they're gonna be people might still show up on Friday when you're not there, and they're gonna be like confused. Whereas if you started smaller and then you added, it'd be easier for community. So
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. When I started, I was just like streaming. I was streaming Fortnite with friends and stuff when I started. It was very casual, and then until I decided to have a set schedule, and that made a huge difference to have a set schedule for for Foodie Fridays, and then my video gaming, and then the mental health Mondays. It was good to have that schedule for sure, and to just stick to it and not overwork yourself. Although now I'm just doing Foodie Fridays once a month because to do Foodie Fridays every Friday was a lot.
yeah,
Preparing. I bring my kitchen over here, so kind of the little cart with stove and whatever. So I cut that right down to just gaming and mental health Monday, and once a month the foodie thing. Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, I think having a schedule is a really good idea. 100%. Everyone has his own reasons for streaming. Some do it to try to get fame. Some try to make friends. Some try to just make people days better. I try to help people smile, like creating a better world for my children. 100%. What are your convictions and what keeps you focused on your goals? Oh, would you like to answer that question, Greeny Goat?
oh
What
sorry, that
are
was from me. I was like,
what are your convictions and
am I
what keeps you
drinking water?
focused on your goals? Food gets pricey, also it does. Yeah.
All right, so everyone has their own reasons for streaming. Some do it for the fame. Sorry, I know that you just like read this, but I was like, in my world, they're drinking water. Some try to make friends, try to make people's days better. I try to help people smile, while creating a better world for my children. What are your convictions and what keeps you focused on your goals? Yeah, no, definitely a good question, Infinite. I would say, um, the reason why I started streaming was I wanted to like have like a purpose and stuff, and I felt like my previous jobs, like I was a substitute teacher and stuff, and I just felt like that even though like it was good like helping like kids and stuff, I felt like a lot of it was like mandated and there was all these like Common Core standards and stuff, and I felt like I would make like a really nice lesson plan and someone like over me would be like, nope, you can't do that, you gotta like do this. Or previous jobs where I was like working for like a bank and I just felt like I was like a number and I just didn't really think I was like doing anything like special. So for like streaming, I'm able to actually make like a difference. Like someone can come to my stream. I have people all the time that will like come in and they're having like a bad day or maybe like work is stressing them out, and they're able to like laugh. Um, like I don't really think I'm funny, but some people think I am like funny, or just like the content and stuff, like playing like a game with me, getting their mind off it and stuff, and they'll be like, that like really helped me just like get my mind off like my stressful job, or I just got, um, I don't want to like call this person out. I'm sure if he was here, he wouldn't mind saying who he is, but there was someone recently in my stream who just recently got divorced, and he um, now has to like see his kids on certain like weeks and stuff, and that's like really hard for him.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And so he was recently just telling me how like he was able to like hang out with me in my stream, and he was able to like take his mind off, even though he was having to like take his kids back to like his mom like that day, like later that day, and he was already like super sad and stuff. But like him just being in my stream was able to like, kind of like calm him down and stuff before he was ready to like do that. And so
Hmm.
I think like, I mean, I would have known until like he told me that, but I'm sure there's other people in my stream that have, you know, are able to just take their mind off like the craziness like in the world,
Hmm.
and that's like what I enjoy doing. It's like make people have like a space where they feel safe, have a good time, laugh, and so yeah, I guess I'd be like, my goal is to as a streamer, just like make people like have fun and have a place where they want to like be like a
And
community.
you're really
So
good at that, actually. I'm gonna keep your streams and vibes, keep going with everything. Love you, brother. Oh, that's very sweet.
yeah,
Yes, I do really enjoy the dynamic on your stream and how you do it. It's very healthy, you know. It's a very welcoming, comforting place to be. It's like um, you know what I mean? It just feels good and genuine, like and authentic. And I think this is one of the things that we really are lacking a little bit in the streaming world is authenticity. Just people being themselves and bringing in the community together and just having a good time. You know, I really like that. You play your DBD play with viewers, and now you started doing Fortnite recently.
yeah.
And I was actually going to ask you, so what made you want to do Fortnite out of the sudden? Because you were, very DBD, very good at DBD, and
Yeah, so of course, like I'm still doing the Dead by Daylight. That'll always be like my main game, but
Mhm.
I wanted to add like another day to like my stream schedule because I was just doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I was like, you know what, I think it's time to like add a day. So I wanted to like add like Thursday because I like having everything like together. Some people like things like broken up, but I like to have everything like be together so that way I can have like the other days off to like rest. Um, but because I knew I was gonna add a day, I was like, you know what, let me just like switch it up a little bit and add like, Fortnite because if I did like 4 days, this is just like my reasoning. I could be wrong. This is just like my opinion, but I assume that if I did like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like people could always pick any day that they wanted to go to like my stream. Like it would just be like a normal like another day. But if I just did like Fortnite on Thursdays, then if people wanted to actually like see Fortnite and stuff, then they would have to like show up on like on a Thursday. So I just wanted to like, make it a little bit like special.
Mhm. That's cool. I remember it was around Christmas time you had gone to visit your family there where you are now, and I noticed that you were like playing Fortnite. I was on the Discord thing notification. I'm like, "Oh, Green Eagle playing Fortnite? I'm surprised, you know." And then you
Right.
added that to your stream, and my son really enjoyed watching you play that when you started on Thursdays. Yeah, it's fun. Fortnite is a fun little game to play with friends and things. It's really super fun. Yeah.
And I also wanted to show that too, like, I'll still have people that will, like, come, people like, they tell me this all the time, they're like, "I don't really like Fortnite, but I'll just be there because I like watching your streams and stuff." And I think that's, like, important as, like, a streamer is a lot of
Mhm.
people have, like, this mindset where it's like, "Oh, like, if I go to, like, a different game, then they might, like, not wanna, like, watch, like, my streams and stuff." But
Mhm.
if your community likes you, they'll be there, like, support you. And that's why I feel like those, like, big streamers out there, they're not as focused on their community. Like the people there, they're just watching them for like their gameplay. So like for example, if someone's like a big famous streamer and they just streamed up by Daylight, they're not really like looking at their chat. They're just so focused on the game because people are there to
Mm.
like watch how good they play.
Mhm.
So if that person switches to a different game, no one's gonna like their community is not gonna like show up because they were just there to like watch that game. They don't care about
Mhm.
like that streamer. It's not that they don't care about the streamer, but they're caring about that streamer because he plays like that game.
Yes.
Whereas when you have a smaller community, like with me, people will show up no matter like what game you play if they like you. So I think that's like important.
That is awesome that you were able to build that community. It's great, you know. And like the Twitch community can be really amazing, but sometimes it can be really toxic too. I don't know if you had experiences with that. And but without naming
Yeah.
people, what's one of the hardest things you had to deal with as a streamer, and like what did it teach you along the way?
Yeah, no, I of course I don't like mentioning names, but some people might think like when you're like my community, like everything is all like sunshine, like rainbows and stuff. But there's definitely been times where I've definitely gone through like a lot of drama and like I met people that I thought were like nice that were actually like super like toxic. And that would kind of I think that was probably the most that would like really mess up my mental health was running into those situations because like I'm always someone that's like I try to always be like wholesome and treat people with like how they want to be treated like the golden rule. And so every once in a while, and sadly this is going to be like everyone, especially like as you get bigger as a streamer, you actually sadly run into more not so nice people because you're meeting more people. So that's where I think it's important to like set boundaries and stuff.
Mhm.
uh, Before when I first started, I was just like happy to like meet everyone, and I thought everyone was there to like support each other and be
Mhm.
nice to each other. And then that's when I realized that some people are like sociopaths out there that will just manipulate you and stuff, and go behind your back and stuff and talk about you, and then realize that they're actually not there to support you. They're just like a sociopath, and they don't have like emotions and they don't have empathy, and they just will do what they can to take advantage of you.
Mm.
And so, sadly, I would run into people like that, but that also taught me to like put more like a guard up,
Mhm.
and then you know, just kind of like really watch people and stuff and see, because I feel like it's pretty easy to like tell sometimes now when
Mhm.
once you go through that. But yeah, I guess like some people probably like wondering like when I ran into those people how to like handle it. Honestly, the best thing to do is always like block those people so they can't like try to like manipulate you more and stuff, even if they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna like tell everyone like how bad you are." When you're like someone that's a good person and you're like kind to people, no matter what they say, your community's not gonna like bully that person. So you just have to like let them say what they want and just avoid it and disengage with it and just
Mhm.
let them do what they want. because that was like my hardest thing was like, oh no, this person's like saying stuff like I felt like I had to like defend myself, and that would actually like make it worse.
Oh,
Whereas
yes.
if I just would have like disengaged with it and all that stuff, but it was just like so hard for me because I was like, why is this person like making up all these lies when I didn't like do anything? So
Mhm.
pretty much, long story short, instead of like going into it, there was someone who I was always watching their streams, like like streams and stuff. They were always like kind and stuff, which I thought they were kind, but they were just like, putting on a mask. But they were like a super support. Like they'd always like be in my stream. They were like a VIP. This person was just, always like there. And there was one time where I was on their stream and I saw them do something. It was even like breaking TOS. Like it was very unprofessional. It was
Mm.
disgusting. And I unfollowed right then and there. I was like, I'm not, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they had like the white spot and stuff, and so they saw that I unfollowed, and that's when kind of like all hell broke loose with that person, and they're like, "What? This person's gonna like unfollow me after like everything I done?" And that's when they started like saying like bad stuff and all that. That was like a few years ago, but
Oh, yeah.
it's that can be like scary when it's like your first time going through that. And I guess like what I learned is just still like block the person, unfollow, but if they are going to talk about you, like sadly you can't like control that, but what you can control is just keep doing what you do, and people will see that that obviously that person's making up lies, and you just gotta move on.
Mhm.
But,
Oh, 100%.
but
Yes, thanks for sharing that.
uh,
Yes.
it can be
And
like really hard. Like that's like
mhm.
some of the stuff which I know streamers don't always talk about that, but it does like happen, and I think it's important to like kind of talk about that so that you
Oh,
can be aware if
100%.
it does happen to you.
Yeah, my burnout came from, toxicity and stuff from that side because I know to me the Discord has been for me the biggest challenge on my streaming on the way of my streaming, not streaming itself, but managing, the community and things like that. Just gotta be making peace and
Yeah,
trying to keep the peace. People are not gonna like each other sometimes, and now I'm just kind of learning to kind of let it go and a little and just kind of let things go because
yeah,
I think we're all adults and we don't have to be best friends, but we can learn to coexist. We're not going to all agree on everything. That's never going to happen in the whole society, let alone in a little Discord server, right? So yeah, it's important. And have you ever had to set like really strong boundaries with viewers or even other like creators to protect your mental health? And what was what was that like?
oh yeah, absolutely. I still like set boundaries on my streams. I think it's like really important. I mean, this is just like my opinion. Some people might like disagree with me, but I think with like your streaming, it should be like professional. Not saying like it has to be like super professional where it's like you have to like freak out if you do like something wrong, but I think some of the streams that I go into where I'm not comfortable, and I'm sure most people can like agree, is when it's very like too like sexual.
Mm.
So like for example, like you go into someone's stream and you don't really like know like the vibes and stuff, and then like their community starts like to try like call you like daddy or like something like that, and it's just like
Oh.
I don't even like know you. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing if it's like your friend group and you're like your friends and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's like what you want to do, but I feel like on your stream that's like not like good to do at all, and people that are like there as viewers and stuff are not going to be like comfortable. And so I had one time where um I don't know how long ago this was, but they came in, they must have been used to like maybe there was a previous stream that they did it on and they were like okay with it, but they came in, they're like, hey, like what's up daddy and stuff, and I was like excuse me, like you can call me like Green Eagle. And then they did not like that. They were like, no, like I'm gonna say that. And then I was like, well, you were just like warned, I'm gonna like time you out if you keep doing that. So I like time them out. And then they ended up like saying, you know what, you're like a very rude streamer. I was gonna subscribe, but now I'm just gonna like leave, like bye. And so to go from that to go down like two different paths. The first path is like what I did, whereas that person, like even if they like, did subscribe, like let's just say like I let them say that and they subscribed and stuff, most of my viewers would have like left because they wouldn't have been like comfortable with that person the way that they acted, and they would be like, why is Green Eagle not taking action on this person?
Mm.
So now everyone like is gone and now I'm like stuck with this person. So that was actually like a negative, even though you think that you're being nice and allowing that person in there
Yes.
and being like, oh, I don't want to like time this person out and be like me, and so I'm just gonna let them like do it. now you actually like hurt your community and they just like left. Whereas if
Mhm.
you take the hard step and you actually time them out and you discipline them, now they're gone, but your community is there and they like are happy that you like kept them safe and stuff. So
Mhm.
sometimes you actually have to like when you say like set boundaries, sometimes you do actually have to be like the um I guess like it's almost like you're being like a mean teacher or like a mean parent like a way sometimes. And you just have to like discipline people.
Mhm.
So that's the way like I look at it. It's just you gotta be
Yeah.
you can't be like afraid to put the hammer down.
Oh, I know. Yes, that's it can be tough, you know. It's and I learned the wrong way along the ways. I don't want to share much about it, but you know, my community knows that I've learned the like not the wrong way because it's not a wrong way to learn. You learn. It might take a little bit longer, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bigfoot Shrimp, for the sub. Appreciate it, and for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So, oh, and Infinite also. Thank you so much. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you guys. Yeah. Um so like I said earlier, one of the things I really appreciate about you is that you did you know the stickers that you put on your face throughout your stream, you remove the whole thing and you put it on a page and you save it on your filing cabinet. I really appreciate that. What made you start doing that, and like what did those memories mean to you?
Yeah, so the stickers was like my ideas. That was something where I was like, I like, you know, when I first started, people were like subbing, giving bits, and I was, of course, like super excited. And I would like, you know, thank them and show like how much I was appreciated because at that time I was like, just, you know, like, hey, like I'm just here to like stream, like everything else like a bonus, which is still like my mindset. Like everything should be like a bonus. No streamer should ever like assume that people are gonna like, you know, give like bits and like subs, and if a streamer does think that, then they're gonna find out the hard way with that.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like during that time, I was just trying to like you know be thankful and stuff. But I was like, I feel like I gotta do something special, so I started like putting like the stickers on, and that gave them like a choice to pick out like what stickers. And so I thought that was like a little fun way to like, celebrate. But I actually would actually like throw the stickers away at the very end. Like I didn't really have the book yet. I was just kind of like toss them. I didn't like think about to like to save them. And then one of my viewers actually a few years ago, I think it was back in like 2023, they're like, why don't you save those stickers? Like, why do you like tossing them out? And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Like, I just, you know, I just thought that the sticker would be on there like for the stream, and they would get like their sticker, and it would last like you know for the whole stream, and then I would just like toss it at the end because you know the next stream move on and start with like fresh stickers. So it's like I just never like it's wild that I just never thought of that. And so yeah, that was one of like my viewers that suggested that idea, and that just goes to show like you know a lot of times your community can give you good ideas for stuff on your stream that you may not think of, and that's why I think it's really important like with streaming is that you are always like learning new stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I that was like a really good idea, and I got that from my community.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Yeah, I love that you keep it and you have your logo on the little book, you know. And those books got really thick eventually, you know.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just
But it's awesome. It's an awesome keepsake. When you look, do you ever go back and have a look and remember something, you know, like when you organize them and stuff?
oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'll go up to like a book like if I'm like cleaning up my room and stuff, and I'll like go back and be like, oh, like on this date, like and you know like a birthday stream or whatever, like look all these like stickers. And even like this one stream that maybe I was like feeling down and there was like a certain date where, you know, I just had like a breakup or whatever, and it was like a special stream, but it was a stream that I remember like just, you know, feeling like sad on. And here's all these stickers, like and they also show like your community is there to like support you, even if you are going through like a hard
Yes.
time. And it's nice to like see because our sticker is like a person on there that like was there, so it's nice to see it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, so a lot of people dream about, you know, becoming a Twitch partner, and now that you've been there for a while, was it everything you would thought it would be? And what surprised you the most about, you know, after getting that, attaining that?
Yeah, I'm still like shocked that I had like received that. Like I thought it was gonna be like many years before I would get that. Um, but yeah, like I will say like when you do become a partner, it definitely does help out a lot. Like you do get like sponsorships opportunities, which are really nice. Of course, they did make it change in the past where it used to be like you'd get like a 70 cut as like a partner. But they did change that, so now you have to like have like the partner plus program, so you have to have like X amount of like subs before you can like get that.
Oh.
Um, but you still get like other nice like cool things. Again, I think the biggest thing is like the sponsorships and stuff, um, which is like really nice with that. Because you know you're just doing those through Twitch, and Twitch is like paying you for that, so that's really good. Like you know when you're full time, you're trying to like rely on like income and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I just I haven't like changed at all. Like I'm still like the same like you know green guy. I've always tell people that
Mm-hmm.
too. Like I just brought that up a little bit so people can like know like what some of the perks you are when you do hit like partner and stuff, and what's like the incentive. But I always like tell people like you know just be you stream and you know when that time comes like when you get up to like that you know like that 50 60 you can start doing like that partner push.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I feel like it's like one of those things where you like hit it like you're super excited, but then you just like go back to like yourself. It's not like some people do change, like you know, some people are like, oh like look at me, like I'm the best and stuff, but that's not like the way that I look at it. Like, you know, I'm like I'm a streamer, like I'm no different than anyone else in here that streams, like I'm no different than like you. So I don't like really like to put myself like on a pedestal or anything like that. Um, you know, I just all it is just like a check mark. So
Mm-hmm. I remember when you were in the first page and you had like thousands of people watching you at the same time, and you were the same you. You just like nothing changed,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, it gets to their head for sure. Oh, some people it can, yeah, for sure. But some people don't. Like
Yeah.
when you're humble, you know? Yes. But when you thank you, Rubber Eagle. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. If you could go back and talk to Green Eagle who just started his streaming journey, what's the biggest piece of mental health advice you would give him?
Yeah, I would say definitely keep like that schedule because back then I didn't really have the schedule. When I first started streaming, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go live when I feel like it. Um, and then people would like show up at the end and be like, oh, I didn't know that you were live. I was like, yeah, I've been like live like the past like 7 hours. And it was because I didn't have like a schedule. So I'd like go back and just be like, you know, have like a schedule. Um, don't be afraid to like make mistakes. You know, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid you don't have everything set up on your stream perfectly. Don't compare yourself to like other streamers. You know, everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own like path, just like you know with life. You know, some people are very successful at 20, and then some people are very successful at like you know 60. So you can't like judge someone based on like their journey in life. Same thing like on Twitch. You can't like judge someone based on their journey on Twitch. Some people have a lot more things that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have it more easier on Twitch. So, you know, obviously if someone is working like 10 jobs and is like a parent or a single parent versus someone that, you know, is single and, you know, doesn't work and stuff, they're going to have like, you know, it's a big,
A big difference.
big difference with that, you know. So you
Yeah.
can't just be like, oh, I'm not able to stream as much as this person is. They're able to stream more than me. They're going to like make it. It's like, no, like, you know, might take you a little bit longer, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got this. So.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say like don't give up, keep a schedule, and don't compare yourself to others.
That's a big one. Don't compare ourselves to others because we all have it different, right? And we all have different limitations as well, and different tolerances as well. You know, yeah, comparing yourself to other people is never good. For there's no benefit in that at all, right?
Yeah,
And I see a lot of streamers, bigger streamers, giving tips to like teaching people how to grow on Twitch and stuff like that. Do you think that we spend too much time teaching people how to grow on Twitch and not enough time teaching people how to stay mentally healthy while they're growing? What do you think? What's your take on that?
yeah, I would because I do agree with that. I think that like you could give someone like the best like tips and stuff, but if you don't show them how to like balance it, it's not gonna like work well. I'm sure we all see it. Someone is grinding like to affiliate, and then they hit like affiliate, and then it's like they don't know what to do next now, and they're starting to get like burnt out. So even people that are like once they hit like partner, like I've seen people that they hit partner and they're exhausted from like the partner push and stuff, and they just kind of go back to like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to streaming when I feel like it because I'm partner now. People should just like be at my streams because like I'm a partner. They just assume that they had the check mark that people are gonna like show
Mm-hmm.
up, and they tend to neglect like the schedule and stuff. And so yeah, I think like having a schedule is like really important with like burnouts and stuff and um all that. And I think a lot of times people are just like, oh yeah, like go out and network, spend like hours and hours networking, or spend hours and hours of supporting, or spend hours and hours of setting up your stream and like doing all these like fun things. And of course, all that takes up like your time and like your schedule. And then if you
Oh
don't have
yeah.
time for yourself, then you are gonna like burn out. And so if you are able to, like with me, if like for example, like I'll just set like my schedule up. So I stream like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then usually like Mondays are like my days like off and stuff. And then Tuesdays are usually like my days off as well. I think it's important having like 2 days off. And then Wednesdays, like I'll go out and I'll like network and stuff, and I'll meet like new streamers. And of course, I'm always like supporting on Wednesdays as well. And even after like my stream, I like to like support other streamers. But I think it's really important to have like a day or like at least like a day off. I think 2 days is a good to like go for, but at least have like a day off for yourself. But I think some streamers out there, it's just like every single day they feel like they have to like be doing something, and that's like a good way to like burn out and stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, so at the beginning you were going really hard and then you said no schedule time,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes. That was very insightful. Like I really appreciate you I appreciate you agreeing to come in today. I really do, because I know we're all
oh
busy,
yeah,
and
absolutely,
we have a lot going on. But I really appreciate you taking the time to come in today. And guys, if you're not following Green Eagle, please hit him a follow and go check him out. Like super cozy vibes on his stream. Very nice and very attentive, caring person. So again, Green Eagle, thank you so much for coming today. And I have I have more questions, but I want to ask off stream at some
oh yeah,
point.
absolutely.
Yes, yes. But thank you so much, and I would love to play some Fortnite with you sometime.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm
Yes,
sure you'll
yes.
carry me.
Thank you, boy. Okay.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for like thinking of me to come on. That was very nice of you, and I was super excited to do this. So I I wanted to be here and stuff. So it wasn't like something where I was like I was forced to be here. Like I wanted to be here. So thank you.
No, thank you. My community knows that I've been wanting to ask for a while, but I'm shy to ask because I know everybody's busy. So I like to respect people's spaces that way. But I really
Oh yeah,
appreciate you taking the time. So thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Hey, thank you so much. You as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, guys. Well, that was great, wasn't it? That was so awesome. I'm so happy he joined us today. It was such a good like a lot of wisdom there and a lot of help with just streaming in general, So yeah, thank you again. Thank you again. So I have a video on streaming burnout that I'm gonna show. And yes, he is very genuine, very genuine person. So, oh, Flawless, thank you so much for gifting Green Eagle a sub. I appreciate it. Um, yes, I'm just going to do this really quick here, real quick, and yes, I'm going to play. It's just 4 boundaries you must set for your Twitch community. Just since we're in the boundary subject, I thought it would be a good idea to share this video with you guys. So yes, so let's listen to this real quick, and I'll be right back. Oh, thank you. I think I have to reset this thing. Hold on. Rewrite. Oh, it was completely down. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh. See? Thank you, guys.
How have we never done a boundaries video? Like, that is such a huge part of streaming. Ashley, come on. What's up, streamers? It's Ashley Christ, and welcome back to my channel where I teach you to pursue your dreams and learn to stream. If that is something that you are interested in, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below for 3 videos a week. What? What the heck are personal boundaries? Personal boundaries are guidelines for the ways that people can interact with you and your responses to those interactions. Now, these can be really difficult to establish if you're just not an assertive person or if you haven't found your confidence yet. So let's get into the 4 types of boundaries that you want to set if you are a live streamer. The first boundary that you want to set are mental boundaries. So mental boundaries are boundaries on thoughts and opinions that you want people to share in your community, how much of your life you want to share with your community, how much you want to hear about and interact with their lives, and then also just the emotions that you want to live around in your space. This boundary is highly subjective, so it's really important that you spend time checking inwards every time that someone kind of pushes your boundary to figure out what is comfortable for you. Whenever you set boundaries like this, you always want to make sure that you're never going beyond what is comfortable for you. I'm personally very vulnerable in my community and the space that I'm building, and I like that vulnerability. I like people to be able to open up about their lives, even if it's scary or they're afraid to. So that is comfortable for me because I feel confident in helping people and enabling them to live their best lives and to just be honest about who they are as people. But that might not be comfortable for you. So if it's not, you don't have to do that. The second boundary that you want to set are physical boundaries. So can people touch you at events without asking? Can they travel to come and see you and hang out with you in person? Do you want to see people whenever they reach out to you and say, hey, can we meet up? Because trust me, you get to a certain point and this starts to happen a lot. People want to see what you are like in real life. And once again, this is highly subjective. A really important note that I want to put in here is that some people are highly sensitive to physical touch or they have histories of abuse or trauma. So in those situations, you want to make sure that you ask before you act because you never know what someone else's boundaries are. I love seeing my community in real life because I'm a creep. I also love hugs and I'm very tactile and I want to wrap people in my arms and never let go. It's not weird, I promise. But if someone randomly hugs you or comes to visit without your permission and you're not about it, speak up. Also, permission? I don't know. The third boundary that you want to set are time boundaries. Okay, so these are things like the amount of time you spend adulting versus the amount of time you spend on relationships. This is very time management oriented, which if you are a content creator, it's very easy to get lost in this craft and put a ton of time into it. You kind of lose yourself in it, Ashley. So I am very work and goal oriented, which means that I have a tendency to overwork myself and let my relationships slide, which is not the best personality trait. But for me, because I enjoy working so much, I've found a boundary that it's really important for me to try to weekly get people into my content and working on it with me. So that way I have a good mixture of real life experiences and content creation / work. However, you might have the exact opposite problem, and that's why we're gonna make a time management video soon, I promise you. The fourth boundary you need to set are relational boundaries, okay? So this is like, how much time are you gonna be putting into each of these relationships? How much effort, how much intimacy do you want to have with all of these people that are gonna start reaching out to spend time with you? So think about this from a viewership's perspective, right? Like viewers spend a lot of time watching you and they get to know you very, very well to the point where they feel like they're actually your friend. And so they'll reach out to you either in DMs on like Twitter or Instagram or Discord, or they'll want to like meet with you one-on-one and set up all these meeting times. But there is a cost to this, okay, my friends, okay? And that cost might be your sanity at some point. Like, there are only a certain amount of relationships that we can all handle. If you're in the very beginning of content creation, you might be able to spend as much time as you can with all of these people and keep those relationships healthy and alive and very intimate and close. But there will come a time where the amount of people that are reaching out to you is just unbearable for you to be able to respond to everybody with very, very intimate details and with that close-knit like relationship feeling. As much as we all love our communities and really want to get to know everyone and spend time with everyone, at a certain point we just can't handle any more relationships. Human beings can't be close friends with every other human being on the planet, right? So eventually there will come a time where you have to choose who you are going to keep close and who you are kind of going to hold at arm's length and not really have a ton of effort or time or intimacy into that relationship. Which this can make you feel really guilty if you've never done it before, but it's actually a good thing to do because you have to, as a content creator, be focusing on your content, focusing on that community growth. And if too many relationships and too many DMs are starting to take away from that time that you spend growing your space, then that is a negative interaction, right? Like that's a negative thing that's happening in your life that you probably want to put a stop to. So let's make this a conversation. Let's get some actual dialogue going. What boundaries do you feel like you need to work on? Let me know down below. So here's the thing, let's just sum up boundaries in general. Boundaries define your content. They are set to make you comfortable. And going beyond your boundaries makes you feel uncomfortable or drained. It leads to burnout, which leads to you losing your momentum and you just stop creating content. We don't want that. And this might feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but don't be afraid to reinforce your boundaries so that you are able to accomplish your dreams. If you dig this content, but you need a little bit of an extra push or you need a little extra help that's specific to your own situation, come and hang out with us over at patreon.com/AshleyChrist. There's a link for that down below. It's the only place that you can go to get one
She's a nice girl. Her name is Ashley.
From me. Okay, head over there
Ashley
right
Christ.
now. Make sure you hit subscribe down below.
Yeah, she's nice. I found her the other day and she has some really good points, you know? I actually really enjoyed that. And we're gonna go back to the guitar guy. Have the little guitar guy. How am I late for? Oh, you missed Green Eagle. You missed the Green Eagle. Green Eagle was here, but it's okay because the guitar guy, W guitar guy, 100%. In fact, I'm going to do this. That way we can see the guitar guy and me. How about that? I can make me a little bit bigger. Because the guitar guy is, you know, super duper. Gotta love it. In the little cliffside there, that's such a peaceful place, you know? It looks amazing. Don't you think? Is the sound good enough? Is it loud enough? I can make it a little bit louder. I think that's a little better. Yeah? W guitar guy, 100%. In the beautiful place. Perfect. Yeah, so like I wanted to ask you guys, guitar guys, the friends. Yes, one of the friends. We have Dean that you can't see anymore right now, but you know, you have to make some friends along the way, right, in this journey. So I know a lot of you guys are lurking, but so I want you guys to be honest with me. How many of you guys feel guilty when you say no? How many feel guilty when you say no? Drop in chat. All the time. Exactly. Because I think I like that. I think a lot of us confuse being kind to having no boundaries, right? And those are not the same thing. Being compassionate is so beautiful, right? Being supportive is beautiful. Being there, but there's a difference between generosity and self-abandonment, right? Sometimes we abandon ourselves to just make other people happy. So you're saying yes to somebody else and you say no to yourself. And it's, you know, that's that one, like, you know, it's a tough one, right? So this guy, yes. So I think most of us are actually never taught to have boundaries, and I talked to you about this before. You know, with childhood, you know, we're taught to be polite. We're taught to not upset people, and we're taught to not make things awkward, to be helpful, to be accommodating, to smile. And I even said that in the past about, you know, the whole parent asking you to go hug someone that you really don't want to hug when you're a kid, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I don't do with my child, you know? Never, you know? I never tell my child to hug anybody, ever. If he feels like he wants to hug someone, he can run to that person and hug that person, and it has to be organic, right? So, and then we become adults, and then we're expected to magically know how to set healthy boundaries and healthy emotional boundaries and physical boundaries and all of that. Like, so when oh, hold on, a female streamer and I got along well. She added me on Discord, and I was invited to her Discord stream with her, me, and her mod. This was months, and she had 500 viewers, but positive bots. Nobody interacts on social. This happens a lot. I've noticed sometimes, you know, you have someone with like over 100 viewers and there's no one talking. Yeah, one day she was talking about she helps small streamers to, so told her about some people. She loved them. One day messages me saying me messaging her is crossing her boundaries. Oh, okay. So I said nothing. In her stream she said, okay, why you don't message me? So I did. And she called me a stalker. It went off on me? What? I blocked her. She goes stream with a mutual friend, and this friend shouted me out. So next time she had her mod block me so I cannot talk. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's tough. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like this seems like a weird situation. I don't think that stalking her, like private messaging someone, is not stalking someone. I think that following every move, seeing where they're at, like if you go, for example, I've heard of people going on common streams that you watch together and look at the friends list to see if, you know, the people are, if you guys are there together and stuff like that. I think that's a little bit stalkish, different, you know, checking friends list and like checking different games to see if they're on and stuff. That's a bit stalkish, but I think that you just private messaging someone is not stalkish. So I had 3 female streamers contact me first, then got weird. Boundaries need to be put. Oh, 100%. Like you have to be. The conversation has to be extremely professional, right? Only having a conversation, like we've had private conversations that we're talking about creating something special, right? That's different. We're talking professional, you know, things. It's different. So when you private message people, you have to keep it that way, right? It has to be done that way. It can become dangerous. So they all changed months later. Yeah, that's unfortunate, you know. Yes. Yeah, so like I was saying about, you know, when your child, you know, they're never taught how to create boundaries, that you just, it's almost kind of, it can be ripped away from you depending on what kind of childhood you've had. You know, you kind of, your boundaries kind of got destroyed as a child depending on your childhood, because it defines a lot of us. The childhood's a big, you know, programming. That's the programming time of the brain, right? So then, you know, we become adults and then we're magically expected to know how to set healthy emotional boundaries. Like that lesson was never taught. It was, you know, it wasn't there, right? Because when you grow up learning that others people's comfort matters more than your discomfort, boundary feels wrong. It feels like you feel guilty, right? It feels selfish. It feels mean. And it's even when they were healthy boundaries, it still can feel selfish, right? And like poor boundaries don't always look dramatic or anything like that. Sometimes they just look like being the nice one, you know, the reliable one, the easygoing, the strong person, you know, the person that everyone comes to. And like at first, that can feel kind of good. People appreciate you, they need you, they depend on you, you got to be helpful, you know, and then, you know, but honestly, like, being needed can feel validating. It can feel good. You know, you feel like you're important and you're loved and, you know, safe, you know. But sometimes all of that becomes a huge trap, because, like, if our worth, it starts getting tied to how useful we are, then when we say no, it starts to feel dangerous, because if I stop helping, who am I? If I stop fixing, What value do I bring? And if I stop being the person everyone depends on, will people still want me around? You know what I mean? And that gets deeper than boundary. That gets into identity, right? And that's important. So it's a huge one. So Eric so Eric streams, someone was questioning why they cannot reach out what I can. I explained it took a while, and we are on same field doing the same things. Hi Eric. Absolutely, yes. So in music, boundaries save your life. I had fans follow me home. Yes, and dark type is like, yes, I know, right? I know. So I think one of the big signs of weak boundaries is people pleasing. People pleasing, come on. Who can relate to people pleasing here? Please tell me. Okay? So it sounds harmless, right? Like people pleasing, like, oh, just care about people, but honestly, sometimes people pleasing is just anxiety, like in a nice outfit, you know? Because underneath it's fear. Like you have fear of conflict, you have fear of disappointing people, you have fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being seen as the difficult person, right? So instead of asking what do I actually want, we ask what keeps everyone else happy. And that's so unhealthy, you know. Hardest thing to deal with is people pleasing. 100%. 100%. So that shows up kind of everywhere, agreeing to plans you don't want to do. You're taking extra work that you can't, you're already exhausted and you can't take on. And like even like when you have messages and you just reply immediately because you feel guilty if you don't, right? And you say no worries while you actively worrying all the time. So let's be honest here. That little smiley face has lied a lot. It has lied for a lot of us. The little smiley face we put on, the little emoji, has lied for a lot of us. You know what I mean? So eventually, all of that stuff leads to extreme exhaustion, and all, like real exhaustion. Not I need a nap. I'm tired or soul tired. Like the kind of that someone asks, one tiny thing internally, you just want to disappear into a cabin in the woods in the middle of, the forest. You just want to disappear. This is where burnout comes in. The lack of boundaries and the people pleasing and the lack, not the fear of rejection. Exactly that. That's why I included the other two important ones. 100%. Yeah, fear of rejection. Yes, is the worst thing to deal with as a people pleaser. It is rejection and abandonment, right? Oh, this person's gonna leave me if I don't, We are always yellow smile. No, we aren't, We are puffy face from crying all night. We're like all this, we're human. We have a soul. We have feelings and, So, yeah, so like sometimes we just want to run into the woods and communicate just through those little doves that took the letter and stuff like that. We just want to communicate that way and not be around anyone. That's why I really want to take off further than I was before. Carrier pigeon, that's it, that's the name. Carrier pigeon. I forgot. Yeah, that's the name. Carrier pigeon. Streaming music is similar, however, way worse in music because jealousy is bad. You see in people. Oh yes. Yeah, that's the whole thing we were talking with Green Eagle earlier, right? Don't compare yourself to other people because we all have different limitations. We all have different tolerances on how we take things in, right? So when we get to that stage of such people pleasing that we want to be out in the woods and all of that, that's a level of burnout. So that's what happens when over functioning becomes normal, and being the ones who handle everything becomes normal. Carrying like all the emotional weight becomes normal until one day you realize, holy crap, man, I'm exhausted all the time, right? And this is like I actually have a video about this in a clinical level, right? Because when you get to that point, you start having resentment towards people, right? And resentment is like it's a sneaky one. It's kind of like a sneaky emotional goblin. You know what I mean? Because resentment doesn't usually show up dramatically. It shows up like slowly, right? It shows up when someone asks for help in you, of course, but inside you're like, why am I always the one? Why am I always the one doing this? So I created a mental health name and did well. I met people. You see the videos, so many do it for views. So who is real? Oh yes. You see, I'm not doing for views. I'm doing because I died. That's the one stream I never cancel. You know what I mean? So here's something that might be uncomfortable. But it's really important to know is that resentment is after anger that didn't get spoken when it needed to be, right? So you gotta, they're connected. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we expect people to recognize our limits, to understand the limits and understand the boundaries and respect that, especially when we're being vulnerable, right? And instead of that, unless someone is like secretly psychic, which honestly would be pretty amazing, they don't know you have to communicate. And imagine someone asking, hey, can you help me move this weekend? And then before you answer, they go, actually, never mind. I sense your nervous system is hanging by the dental floss. Incredible. That would be so cool if people could just read your mind sometimes, we love that. But until psychic empathy becomes mainstream form of communication, that's not gonna, happen. So I created a mental health name. Oh yeah. Me, you, Technical, and others all started around. Oh yes, that's true. That is true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. So when direct communication feels scary, that's when passive aggressiveness, exhaustion shows up, right? The nothing's wrong when everything is like super duper wrong kind of energy. There must be nice to have a free time comment, the emotionally exhausted text kind of reply, that's when that anger starts coming out. And because when you say I can't do this feels so hard, so much harder than saying yes is just easier, and that's the lack of boundaries. We're all in each other's first streams. I know, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah. He's on a mental health. I haven't seen him on. I even on his server, I haven't seen him say anything. But I know he was struggling for a bit there, and I'm glad he's on a mental health break. I'm trying to have a little, like I'm having a break compared to what it was before, but I'm not on a break. I'm not like completely gone, because I have mental health Monday and a few other things that I don't want to cancel. He did only. Oh, that's good. I'm glad he did a DJ. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. So, because saying I can't do this feel harder than saying yes, and then you become furious with yourself, you get really mad at yourself. And one of the saddest thing about weak boundary can do is it can lose yourself. We can lose ourselves in the middle of it, right? Because, excuse me, because little by little, your whole life becomes about everybody else's needs but your own. Their schedule, their emotions, their problems, until someone asks, what do you want? And you genuinely don't know. Like, it's painful because I've had like, what can I do for you to help you? When I went through some, and I'm like, I know I need help, but I don't know what help I need, and sometimes you just don't know, because some people, because used to just adapting, helping, caretaking, and just fixing their own identity gets blurry in the middle of all of this, right? So who am I when I'm not helping? Who am I, when I'm not doing, when I'm not people pleasing? Like, what do I actually enjoy in life? What do I even want anymore? What do I want to do? Brad, thank you. You know that feeling? Oh, we still talk over the weekend. Yes, that's awesome. I feel sorry for Eric. He has to repeat himself over and over. Oh, this happens. It's okay. Yes. So I think, all of this, what do I want anymore? Who I want to be, and all this. When you get lost into this, into the burnout from lack of boundaries. It's that, you know, I think this happened a lot to the strong friend, you know, the one, the listener, the helper, the stable one, you know, the unpaid emotional tech support to literally everyone kind of thing. You know, people tell you, you're so strong. Like, I don't know what I'd do without you. And that feels good, right? Until one day you realize that nobody asks how you are, right? It's just like emotional vampire just to the max. Jimbo Wookie, big hugs. And so, of course, or worse, you know, like they ask and you don't even know how to answer, you know, you don't know. So, and that's where that's like the whole thing about weak boundaries and burnout, right? So, yeah, so I actually have a clinical video from an actual therapist that she actually breaks down in like a clinical way. So I think that would be kind of a cool thing to watch. I actually really enjoyed how in depth she was about it, you know. So, but in the meantime, I would like for you to sit with this question: where in my life have I been saying yes when silently screaming no? So sit with this question, keep that question in your mind, and like just think about it, right? Because I think we all have to analyze that ourselves. So I have been on 2 months break too. Sometimes we need to just know there are people like me who care about you. Sushi, I appreciate all the research and dedication you put into all of this. Oh, thank you, Robert. Yes, it's the one stream I have never canceled since I started streaming. It was Mental Health Mondays. I've been doing this for over a year now, and I really enjoyed it. I'm very passionate about it. I would like to you know, I would like to take a course or something on things. So I do my own research and I do study a lot, but it would be nice to, you know, be able to study, you know, like, yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to show 3 signs that you have hit clinical burnout and should seek help. Okay, so this is important here because she's talking about clinical burnout, right? So I got stuff to send you. I found free courses. Oh, I would love free courses. Please send it to me. Every stream, same people, same problem, same advice. They keep repeating the same patterns because they refuse to learn the lesson. Yes, it's like it's that thing. You can't help who doesn't want to be helped. Eventually, they have to make the move. They have to make the improvement. They have to take the step. You can't take the step for them. They have to. So, like we have to, as human beings, we have to take that step for change, right? For growth. So, yeah. So, yeah, but okay. 3 signs that you have hit clinical burnout and should seek help. So please, if that's you, seek professional help. Let me get my camera off. There we go. Let's watch this. This is a very good video. I actually really enjoyed her.
These days, we talk a lot about burnout. But as a psychologist, I recognize that we have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to burnout. We think burnout is any time you're feeling a little bit overworked or a little bit stressed or a little bit tired. But it turns out that burnout is a very special kind of clinical syndrome that has a couple very particular symptoms. One of the symptoms we often think about is a sense of emotional exhaustion. But this is richer than just a sense of physical exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion isn't just about being tired. It's really about feeling like you cannot emotionally handle another thing on your plate. If one thing comes on, that's it. The whole house of cards is going to fall. Even when you get a really great night rest or a week off, you're still feeling kind of emotionally tired and overloaded. That's the first symptom, this sense of emotional exhaustion. The second symptom, which I think is even more profound, is a sense of what's often called depersonalization or cynicism. You're just kind of on a short fuse with the people around you, whether that's the people you're serving in your job, your clients or your patients, or your other teammates. It's like everything they say kind of irks you a little bit, and it feels like if there's one more request, you're just going to lose it and freak out. You're also very cynical about people's intentions. You kind of feel like they have bad intentions for the asks that are coming your way. That's a sense of depersonalization. depersonalization. But the third symptom is a sense of personal ineffectiveness. You just feel like even if you were doing your job perfectly, it wouldn't matter, or there are structural constraints that make it impossible to do what you really value doing. So even if you're doing your job well, you feel like it kind of doesn't matter. It's not giving you the same value it was before. So this is burnout. It's not just a sense of stress or overwork. I think it's important to distinguish between stress and burnout. We sometimes lump the two together, but burnout is a very particular kind of clinical syndrome. We tend to think of burnout as a modern phenomenon, but there's evidence that something like burnout has been happening for a while, at least since the Industrial Revolution. But some of the best research on burnout happened in the 1980s and 1990s and was mostly done by this fantastic researcher, Christina Maslach, who's talked about some of the features that tend to lead to burnout. One of the features that tends to lead to burnout is an increased workload, or a workload that really feels just too overwhelming. That isn't enough to lead to burnout over time, but this can be an exacerbating feature. Another feature that tends to lead to burnout is what Maslach calls a values mismatch. You get into your job thinking you're doing something, but in practice, in the trenches, the job feels like something else. I'm speaking about burnout right now as a scientist, but also as somebody who's experienced the syndrome a little bit myself. I feel like I became a college professor and a head of college on campus because I wanted students to have a fantastic experience. But then when COVID hit, it just felt like what we were doing wasn't what I signed up for anymore. There was this mismatch. Another feature that can lead to burnout in an organization is a sense of unfairness. This can also cause a certain sense of community breakdown. When there's a sense that things are a little bit unfair, maybe there's differences in compensation, that can lead to a sense of burnout. The final thing that's really important for burnout is your sense of reward. What leads us to kind of get flow and feel happy in our jobs is a sense of intrinsic reward. When things become pushed more towards the extrinsic reward, and also when those extrinsic rewards, especially when they start feeling a little bit unfair, that can lead to a sense of burnout over time. If you're wondering if you're going through burnout, a few questions you can ask yourself involve those big symptoms we just talked about. First, this sense of emotional exhaustion. Are you really, really exhausted? Not just physically exhausted, but emotionally exhausted. When you take a weekend off, are you still as depleted when you go back on Monday morning? And does it really feel like a form of exhaustion that's very emotional? It's not just that you're tired, but that you're feeling really depressed, that emotionally you're on just a really short fuse. Are you experiencing changes in how you relate to people at your work? Either the people that you serve, your clients, your patients, or the people that you work with? Are you embarrassed about the length of your fuse? Do you feel like you're going through some compassion fatigue? That's a clear sense that you're experiencing depersonalization. And is your sense of meaning going away in terms of what you're doing? Do you feel like your work has changed, that you simply can't do a good job right now because of some of the structures of what you're asked to do or the fairness in your own institution? If you're answering yes to some of those questions, you may be on the verge of burnout, and it's important to address that before it gets worse. So what if you're already feeling a little bit emotionally exhausted, a little bit cynical, a little bit like your job isn't effective as much anymore? This is the point when you need to think about treating burnout. And we can think about treatment as having an organizational side and a personal side. Organizationally, I think different industries need to pay a lot of attention to burnout. And one of the main ways to fix burnout is to make some changes to people's workloads, to people's sense of values, and to the rewards that people are getting. Those changes are really essential steps to treating burnout once it's there. But as an individual, the best thing that you can do, aside from kind of trying to promote more of these structural changes at work, is to really take good care of yourself. And I mean that in particular, not just in terms of the kinds of things you do which matter, getting more social connection, making sure you have some free time, but also to think about how you're structuring your relationship with work. Often we bring the best of ourselves to work and leave the leftovers for everything else, for our families, for leisure, and so on. If you're really putting too much of your identity emphasis on work, that's the kind of thing that can lead to burnout, because those values feel like they matter so much to you. It's all of your identity that's wrapped up in this. When there's a mismatch, it can hit you even harder. So to address my own burnout, I decided to take a sabbatical, but it was important that I stayed very intentional about paying attention to my value systems during that sabbatical. I really tried to invest more in my relationships outside of work. So it wasn't just friendships at work that were making up my whole social life. I tried to re-engage more with other things that I value, hobbies, things as silly as like playing a little bit more Guitar Hero, but also engaging a little bit more with things like my health, like making sure I'm moving my body. It's really trying to engage all the values and the things you care about outside of work so you can start to develop an identity in that and not just in what you're doing for your job.
Yeah, see the clinical thing. Yeah. So I think it's important to understand that part of it. And like today's the last day on the streamer burnout series that I've been doing for the past 4 weeks, I think. Yeah, I have one more guest that I was having today, but it didn't quite work out. But I think we're going to be doing a talk, just streaming in general. Yeah, a lot of it can be self-inflicted, 100%. It's a double-edged sword, really. I've been around so many that came to me for help, but ended in you blame yourself for not doing enough. Yes, exactly. Eric addressed this last night. People make up their minds. Nothing you can do change nothing. Exactly. That's just the way it is, and honestly, I don't want to sound like a broken record talking about burnout. Today's the last day of the series that the boundary burnout series, because it's something I can relate to a lot, and I think a lot of us can relate, right? So we've talked about burnout before, and I think most of us already know what burnout is altogether. So today's more like a reminder, you know what I mean? Because burnout is really sneaky, like we've been talking about. It doesn't usually show up in the morning and say, hey, you're burned out. No, it really creeps in, right? So because we've all been there. Yes, exactly. You keep saying yes, you keep pushing, right? You keep telling yourself, I'll rest after this. And then after this, turns out next week and the next month. And then another thing happened. And before you know it, you're wondering why you're tired all the time, and why all the things that you used to enjoy doing, you don't enjoy doing anymore, and why you're how you say, grumpy, not grumpy, but you react to things and you get short wick. How do you call it? Oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called. So that's what burnout looks like, and there's something I really hope that to remember myself: rest, sleep. Well, what's that exactly? So I want to remember that, and I know for anyone that is going through burnout, I would like for us to remember that burnout doesn't really happen because we're weak. It doesn't. It's not we're weak. We're strong. We're really strong people. We've been trying to stay strong for too long, and that's the problem. We just keep being strong and strong all the time, and I think that's something a lot of us need to hear, because what's the first thing we usually do? It's like we blame ourselves, right? We tell ourselves we're lazy. We tell ourselves we're not doing enough, that we need to work harder. And then we tell ourselves everyone else seems to be doing fine, so why can't we be fine, right? But that's usually not the problem. Sometimes life has just been asking more from us than we've been able to give, right? So maybe just work is a little crazy. Maybe we're trying to build a streaming business or any other business, and maybe we're carrying the things nobody even know about, because we don't want to share. When enough of those things pile up, eventually your mind and body starts waving a little white flag. That's basically saying, hey, I need a break. I think streamers understand this really well. We all love streaming, and oh my gosh, what's going on? Santoki raid? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know Santoki was live. Thank you, Santoki, for the raid. Thank you all. Welcome. Fresh catch of the day from Santoki stream. This Mama Bear been on a Fortnite fishing spree, reeling in sprites and good vibes with over 40 crew. Not a typical gamer, but she's serving up some serious pew pew action. Mental health advocate by day, Fortnite warrior by night. Bon appetit. Thank you so much, W raid. Super duper raid. Thank you, Santoki. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I was in 20s. I was in 7 brands. Love that description. Yeah, I love that. That's so cute, right? I love that. Yes. I hope you're doing super good. Thank you so much, Santoki. How was your stream? I appreciate you thinking about me. Thank you. Stream was chill. Nice. I oh, you played with GMO? Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I see. I have him up. But I haven't been on his because I'm streaming too, right? So yeah. No, no banana phone right now. Yeah. So yeah. Things have been okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm talking. I went to Maine again for camp, and it was really emotional and physically draining. Ooh, yeah. Well, I'm happy you're home, and now my son is at overnight camp for the week, so I miss. Oh, yes. I don't think Vinny would ever go to an overnight camp. 9 years of never sleeping one night away from my boy. He'll be back soon. Yes, I know. We can miss kids, right? Vinny has a camp, but it's just like, well, I'm taking him there and we're spending the day there with, and then we're coming back, you know? But yeah, he'll be back soon. Not being away, but I think it's a step they, 100%, yes. Break that umbilical cord, right? And may have them become independent. It's really important. When they are older, you're like, don't want to go anywhere. I know. Yes, for sure. So I'll check back in 2 years for you and Vinny. Yes, he's 9 now, you know? Yeah, but he refuses to stay at camp for the night, and he just doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be away from mom. But I think at some point, I have to give him a little push, you know, just for his own good, to have his experiences as his own individual, you know? Yeah, but like I was saying, like, so most of us start streaming, so loved him in your sushi making stream, I know. Yeah, Vinny he's never done sleepovers, never ever in his life. It's always been mom all the time. Yeah, but for us, all streamers, you struggled with it. Me too. I remember the first time I went on a sleepover, and I called my mom to go back. Yeah, I was about 9, and no, I had to go back. I had to go back. Me too. I'm so nervous about sleepovers now. Not just nowadays, but you know, a lot of bad things can happen in sleepovers that, you know, kids would just not talk about it, and it's not good. It's hard to trust anyone. It's hard to trust anyone. It's hard to trust anyone. 100%. Oh my gosh, I can't emphasize that enough. 100%. Yeah. But so I was at a missionary trip when I was 17, and one of our kids drowned. Oh my gosh, holy crap, yes. It's funny because we are more connected now, but that doesn't matter. No, yes. Oh my gosh, 100%. Yes, oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, no. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I would try to, but not really at the same time. Yes, 100% connected, but not really at the same time. Yeah, but not really at the same time. Yeah, 100% agree. So yeah, like when it comes to like streaming, you know, a lot of us start because it's fun, you know, but then somewhere along the way it starts feeling like pressure again, you know, feel like pressure. Like you feel guilty if you miss a stream, you start watching your numbers too much, you know, you compare yourself with everybody else, and you convince yourself that taking a day off means people will forget about you, right? So we keep going and then going and going until one day we don't even know, you know, we don't want to hit that go live button anymore. And that doesn't mean that we don't love streaming. It usually means that we've just been carrying too much for too long. Grind, depression, comparison, yes. Or that you lose, exactly, that you lose any momentum, 100%. And honestly, that's not just a streaming thing, that's burnout, right? You slept over at a friend's house every weekend. My whole childhood, I think my parents just knew I'd stand up for myself. That's good. That's good. I know my son, well, even when we went camping, you know, this little kid was really being persistent on him jumping on the deep side. And he did, and he swallowed a ton of water. And I said, don't fall into peer pressure, so I have to be careful with him to stand up for himself a little bit more, you know? I think you're amazing. Are you talking to me? Thank you. Thank you so much, Disguised Agony. I appreciate it. Doug, thank you. To be fair, though, my parents would make friends with the other parents very intimately. Oh. Yeah, peer pressure is definitely tough as a kid. So they become really good friends really quickly kind of thing and like very close. I don't miss those days. I never did that often, but it was definitely consistent, especially in the summertime. Yeah, Dr. Big have created such a great safe environment. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is a safe environment here, 100%, you know? It's important to feel safe for everybody to just feel welcomed and feel like we can be ourselves here. There's no reason not to, right? So, yeah. Banana, welcome in. Hi, how are you? You know? So, and like with the whole streaming and burnout thing, it's not just, it's not just a streamer thing, you know, parents burn out, students burn out, healthcare workers burn out, and people caring for loved ones burn out. Even people doing things they absolutely love can burn out, you know? Loving something doesn't mean that you're immune to burnout. So today, I just wanted to check in, like, I just want us to check in with ourselves for a second, you know what I mean? Now, how are you? Really, like, not the automatic, oh, I'm good. No, the real answer, like, are you excited about the things you normally enjoy? Do you still enjoy some of the things you know, you used to? Or are you just trying to get through the day? You know? The other question is, have you been feeling super exhausted even after like sleeping a whole night's sleep, a whole 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever hours, you still wake up and you're super exhausted? That's another question, you know? So because safer not to be home. Oh. Sometimes it can be yes. I'm still so mad. I feel I got so behind in life because work and climbing out of burnout. Yes, it has to, when you have a burnout, like no matter what stage it is, you gotta address it and take the right steps to get out of it and just take your time. You know, that's unfortunate, but I'm glad you were able to find a safe place. 100%. I'm happy you were able to find a safe place too. I'm good. Just ate dinner. Good. I'm glad you did. That's awesome. What did you have for dinner? So like when I hit that burnout level, you know, the question is, do little things annoy you more than they used to? You know, do you feel like you're always running, but you're never catching up? And I think that if you're sitting here and thinking, yeah, that's kind of me, I just want you to know that you're not alone, you know? A lot of people are feeling that way right now, you know? That feeling, that just heaviness and stuff. And burnout doesn't mean that we failed. It doesn't mean that we're broken. And it doesn't mean that we're weak. And that usually just means that something needs to change. Maybe we need better boundaries, right? And maybe just need to stop saying yes to everything and maybe start asking somebody for help. And that's something that I started doing. So maybe we just need to we just need the permission. We need to allow ourselves the permission to slow down for a little while, you know? And here's the thing, like, I don't think rest is something that we earn. I think it's something that we need, you know? We charge our phones every day without ever feeling guilty, right? We just stick it in the thing and, you know, we put gas in the car because we eventually need to stop, you know, they will stop running if there's no gas. And it's the same for us, you know? But for some reason, when it comes to ourselves, we think that we should just keep going forever, and that's not sustainable. It doesn't work like that. We all need to recharge, you know? So if this sounds like you today, please be kind to yourself. Take a deep breath. Talk to somebody if you need to. Take a real break if you can, you know? And remember that the goal isn't to keep pushing until you completely fall apart. The goal is to just notice the things before you get there, right? That's why I wanted to have this little reminder today, you know, at the end of this series. I'm sure that we're going to be talking about this at some point again. But it needed to be a reminder, because not because like not because we're weak, not because, you know, I think that we're doing something wrong, but because sometimes we all need someone to remind us that it's okay to slow down, to take some times. You know, we matter, our health matter, our mental health matter as well, and taking care of ourselves. It's not selfish at all. It's one of the best things we can do for our mental health and for the people that we care about, because, you know, you gotta put the mask on yourself before you're putting the other person, right? So if you've been running on empty lately, maybe today is the day that you finally give yourself permission to fill your own cup again, right? So I think that's super duper important. And yeah, and I have a video, but before I go to that video, I made recently a new YouTube page that it's a project that I'm working on, that is called A Life in Awe. And I'm working into finding more people to make these videos of, to just, you know, it's almost like a, just reflecting people's life reflections and what they do in life, you know. And I found a YouTube page that actually has a lot of the similarities of what I want to do in their page. And there's this really wonderful lady that I found, that I just love her outlook in life. And so I wanted to share her experience, right? So this is the kind of videos I've been working on making on YouTube. Mine is called A Life in Awe. This is my YouTube page. It's new, and I'm just working on different projects, so for different people to come in and share a little bit about their life and stuff, you know. But yeah, I have this lady. I love her so much. She's just super duper fantastic, and I hope you enjoy her. It's a little bit of a longer one of those. It's like 19 minutes long, but man, she's a delight, and she has such good, insightful messages to share to help us grow as people, that I wanted to just, you know, to share. I did film and edit, yes. Not this one. Not this one. The Life in Awe. This is my channel. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, this is my channel, A Life in Awe. I filmed and edited those, and I'm working on more. I have more footages that I have to edit, and I also have more people I'm going to be filming throughout the summer to edit as well. It takes a lot of time, and because of my burnout, I needed to just stop doing all of it to get all together, you know, because I just really needed a break from all of that. So primarily NY people, like, what's NY? Is it New York? No, I'm not in New York. I'm in Vancouver Island. Yeah. Just is that what you mean, NY? I don't know what NY means. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that what it means? I don't know. Oops, I thought you were in. No, I'm not in New York. I'm in Canada. I'm in the west coast of Canada. I've never been to New York. It's people from the island, like very unique people and their little life experiences, you know. And yeah, I'm actually driving an hour away to do another shooting this Saturday. So yeah, very interesting person that, you know. And I'm going to another little island to shoot, you know, some, you know, a little bit of people that live in a different kind of community. So hi to Dope Dan, welcome in. To Dope Dan, let's go. Anyways, I want to share this girl, this lady. She's fantastic. I absolutely love her, like I said. And I hope you love her as much as I do. But, you know, let's go, let's go.
Sorry, I just put my hands in the soil a bit and now I've got dirty nails. Needed to feel the soil a bit to just remind me of nature that never performs, and just to ground myself. I've learned to trust the life that's inside of me, and I can hear my own voice more and more. sometimes it's a bit scary because you wonder, am I hearing right? Is this my gut? Is this my mind? It sometimes gets a bit confusing because it's a new path for me to learn to hear myself. I definitely have different sort of parts. It sounds a bit schizophrenic, but it's not. I'll tell you about octopus. Octopus is sort of my ego. I was at a family gathering, and when I went home, I thought for myself, oh my goodness, I went into my default again, people pleasing, over-explaining something. And I was so mad at myself, and I went to bed with the struggle in me, like, but how am I ever going to overcome this whole people-pleasing thing? How am I going to change ever? So that morning when I woke up with this picture in my mind of this cute little octopus on my head. And I suddenly realized, oh, this is octopus. It's my ego. Octopus is not bad. Octopus is very cute and people-pleasing and nice, but I don't need octopus anymore because I want to be my authentic self. I don't need to please and run around and do everything for everybody and say yes all the time. Every now and then when I realize, oh, octopus, you're busy running around again, and I'll sort of, come, octopus, I'm gonna just make you fall asleep. And so that octopus can sort of forget to perform. I think it's easier to get to know yourself better and to just be your authentic self when you get older. It's painful. It's painful to learn to lay down, put aside your old habits, make new boundaries that you never knew how to make a boundary. Now you have to say no in the face of somebody that you would normally cringe and say yes, and you don't feel a yes inside. My friend wrote this beautiful poem about saying no, but out of your whole being, let it roar, like no. And that was always something that was very difficult for me to do. I had the other default to say yes, thinking that would protect me. But I realize now, if I don't honor the no that's inside of me, then I'm not authentic, then I'm not really myself, and then I'm not loving myself. But also, it comes at a cost. The cost of sometimes losing friends or people not thinking, oh, but she changed. She's not that likable person anymore because she doesn't run around and do everything for everybody anymore. I really lost myself to such an extent that I'll explain it as a little flame that was still burning there. And when I realized I've been living my life thinking it was the real me, but meantime it was this ego that had, and this persona that was formed through my life to handle certain situations and to protect me. There's actually a scripture in the Bible about looking at the little flame until the morning. Oh, no, I'm gonna cry. Looking at the flame like a candle until the morning star rises in your heart. It's like a stirring in my inside. I can live by the authentic life inside. And the more I discover my beautiful, authentic self, that I think every person is made beautiful, the more I can appreciate myself and love myself. And the more I love myself, I know, the more I love other people. And it's real. Nature is just unpretentious. She doesn't put up a show. She doesn't perform. Sometimes it's hot and dry and it looks a bit dead. It's still the same life that's in there. And then she comes and she rains and the sun shines again and it's the same, just the same.
It's a dead beetle, slowly.
It's the same life that flows through us. It's a sort of a unity of life, and to recognize the life that's in the plants and in myself that's connected. And nature is just to be out in nature has got a new meaning for me. All the preconceived ideas we have about ourselves, about other people, all the judgments, all the performance, everything, I can just breathe it out. Or even the hardships, breathing out those worries and those burdens and all those things, just when I'm in nature, I don't have to perform. You can just feel the oneness of yourself with all of life without performing. started. It's a poem from Thich Nhat Hanh. Call Me By My True Names, it's called. It makes me cry, even if I think of it. So, oh. I think it's also something I want to live. I want to live this right to the end of my life. Call me by my true names. Don't say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving. To be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, and I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I'm the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. I'm the sea pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills the 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names so I can hear all my cries and laughs at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names so I can wake up and so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. Yeah. Oh, so... Nobody is born thinking I'm gonna be horrible and evil. Traumas in all people's lives, in the pirate and in the little girl. This poem doesn't justify injustice, but to understand both parts, to understand the traumas, but to have compassion, to recognize the same life in each other. We are all one, and I want to learn that. My mother was a very good mother. She did everything that we as her children could have, what we needed to have. We were not very rich, but she worked very, very hard. She worked hard. After my father passed away, I felt it. That was something I felt in my gut, that I knew I have to move back and come stay close to her. So I fetch her almost every day. And then we normally go for a walk in the afternoon. To see her body change and becoming more frail and more vulnerable, I think that's an absolute honor to see her change like that and to, getting older and older. My mom is becoming like a child again. So we have to keep adapting, and our love needs to grow. Because I need to love another part of her that I've never seen. The moments have changed from conversations to, in a way, for me, just recognizing the life of my mother and the life that's still inside of her.
Ja, baie. Maar wie nou weer bietjie te maak hier, so eet ook by my.
When I'd feel her hands, that's very special for me. When I can just, it's one thing I miss of my father is his hands, you know. So when I take my mom's hand and I just feel it's such soft skin, and I realize what those hands have done, and she will often say, "Oh, it's really not pretty hands, lelike hande," you know. And I say, "No, don't say that, because those hands have." As a child, you know what your mother's hands have done for you. I can easily be in a hurry. But I think I should every day just be quiet with her. As I take time with myself, to see myself, to recognize my authentic self, I want to recognize her authentic self. And just to make her feel, without words, without things, to just see in her eyes that she knows what I feel and that I appreciate her. It's the life inside, the life behind the eyes. I want to just look into her eyes every day and communicate from my spirit to her spirit through our eyes what I see in her, and that I love her.
Yeah. Excuse me. I absolutely love her. There's just something really special about her, and had her awareness and
Thanks for
just,
watching our film.
you know, oops.
Every
thought I
story
stopped
we've
this.
made.
Oopsie. There's just something really special about her, you know. I just really, I love her. I love her so much. So yeah. So again, I hope you get better. Forsaken God, I hope you feel better. Thank you for stopping by. It's the end of the stream, but thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you, you know, you just thinking of me and stopping by to say hello. I appreciate it, and I hope you feel better really soon. Yeah. The way this woman sees life, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's very insightful. I just, you know, I've seen a lot of videos from this channel. The name of the channel on YouTube is Reflections of Life. It's they make beautiful videos. The videos that I want to make are kind of like in the same style of this, you know, the videos I've been making, and you know, with nature integration and just people's stories. What they we all live through things we can share a little bit of our insight and our wisdom, our lessons that we've learned. We have something to share with people, right? Yeah. Woke up and said, shoot, it's Mental Health Monday, and look to see if it's still on. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, okay. I don't really get the chance to do this often, so I am going to be raiding out to Grandmaster Hung, you know, full circle. He's not a mental health streamer, but he is a very cool person to hang out on his stream and chat. Very wise person. Good vibes altogether. Good vibes, good energy, good insights. So he will have lots to talk to you. Thank you, Flawless. Thank you for the shout outs there. I appreciate it. And yes, again, thank you for sharing Reflections of Life. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great channel. It's the kind of art I want to make, when it comes to video and video editing is integrating nature and people's life experiences. It's a project that I've been wanting to work since before I even ran away from my abusive relationship. It's something that I've been wanting to do, and when you don't know where to start. And I think streaming actually opened the door to me, so I'm very grateful for that. I want to start doing more of that, and that's something I'm very passionate about, that I want to do more and more and get better, more and more on it. So, and I have all you guys to thank. Fellows, thank you for modding. Thank you everybody for, thank you Infinite, Bigfoot, Shrimp, Rubber Eagle, Dark Type. Thank you so much, Dark, for everything you've always done for me too, and still do. Green Eagle, thank you so much for being here. Santoki, thank you for the raid. Yeah, and of course, Green Eagle, thank you so much for taking the time to share some of your insights in this streaming world that we're in. But in the meantime, so I will send you all off to Grandmaster Ang. Please show him some love. Hold on, where is it? Sushi. There you go. I got it. Oh, he's not in his room. He's not in his room. Yeah. Oh yes, the one thing I wanted to talk about. So, next Monday, I'm going to be doing a talk. Thank you, Cyber. So this Thursday, I'm going to be showing the amazing digital circus on the server. And I watched the show, and I know there's a lot of controversy around the show and stuff, but I took my interpretation of the show, how I interpret myself, and I want to put into a Mental Health Monday about it. But before I do Mental Health Monday next week about the amazing digital circus and my take on the mental health side of things, I decided that I'm going to show it on Shenanigans, the show. So I'm going to show, the whole show is 3 hours long for all of the series. So I'm going to show 2 hours on Thursday and the final episode on Friday. So if anyone wants to watch it, I'm going to create an event and I'm going to show it. And then on Monday, I'm going to be doing a talk about my take on the mental health side of the amazing digital circus. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Remember to be aware of your shoulders, be aware of your breath. Make sure you're not letting all those shallow breaths, take over, and just like. And I hope you join me for the amazing digital circus experience on Thursday and Friday. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week. I love you so much. Send you lots of love, and sushi out.